Okay, let's come on to the issue of education and homeschooling, because homeschooling is on the rise. According to the British government and the Department of Education, they're very excited about that because, of course, they lose those people who get perhaps alternative narratives. So they're extremely concerned that homeschooling is not only on the rise, but it's going to become a permanent feature of British life. So let's have a look and see what they had to say about it. Local authorities have a duty under Section 436A of the Education Act 1996 to make arrangements to establish the identities of children in their area who are not registered pupils at a school and are not receiving suitable education. So these are the numbers that they're talking about. In autumn 2022, there were, they say, 80,900 pupils who are not in normal schools and are being homeschooled. By spring 2023, that had gone up to 86,200. And by the summer of 2023, that was up to 97,700. So quite a stark rise, and it seems to be going in that general direction. This is the General Secretary of the National Association of Head Teachers saying we need to see more boots on the ground with visits to families to get to the bottom of issues with children's attendance. But crucially, local authority roles like education welfare officers have been decimated. So, of course, being a head teacher or representing head teachers is extremely concerned that the education industry is being put out of business or can potentially be put out of business by this. Well, what's the political response? Well, here is Gillian Keegan, the Education Secretary, and she was speaking in December saying that the government will legislate for a homeschool register at a future suitable opportunity, although it wasn't in the so-called King's Speech. What about the Labour Party, since they're likely to become the next government? This is their position. They are going to introduce, if they become the next government, a homeschool register. So Uniparty again. But more than that, they're going to introduce AI to identify school absence trends by joining up existing records for children and improving coordination between education, social care, and the wider services that support families. Well, those are the political party positions. What about MPs in general? Well, this is Robin Walker, chair of the Education Select Committee, saying that the Education Select Committee stresses the urgent need for government to bring in the long-awaited register of children not in school and statutory guidance to help schools boost attendance, including guidance on councils' inconsistent use of fines. So clearly, we're heading towards an attack on homeschooling from government, but not just from government, also from the media. And we've mentioned this before because Kitty Jo Murfin's Hope project in Sussex, Hope Sussex School trains next generation of conspiracy theories, said the Times about a year ago. And this type of narrative absolutely maintained in the mainstream press because, as I say, if they lose control of the narrative, there's trouble. The Humanist Society, of course, Humanists UK, very keen to prevent homeschooling because they claim that homeschooling is mostly related to religion. And they're concerned about unregistered schools, so-called illegal schools, like Hope Sussex and other places, but they're particularly concerned with ones that are religious in nature. But don't worry, the private sector is ready to take advantage of this situation. So here is FE Stories saying, famous investor, the homeschooling boom is just beginning. They want to get involved in making sure that homeschoolers can spend their money in the right places. And of course, this is really just, I believe, an effort to make sure that the narrative finds its way into homeschooling as well by private companies providing tools and mechanisms for people to homeschool with ease at home and so on. But let's bring this on from Hannah Frankman, who's saying homeschooling your kids is not a luxury. It's a sacrifice, but it's worth it. I would just say to finish, it's not a sacrifice. If you're able to do it, it's an act of resistance because, of course, it is absolutely counter to the mainstream narrative in many ways. Encouraging news, Ben, that people homeschooling, the numbers homeschooling are increasing. We've got to encourage that as much as possible, I think.
I agree, yes. One less child in the grip of state indoctrination, the better, basically. And actually it runs completely counter to the trend that I'm going to talk about now, interestingly.